Yay, we're recording. So this is, I am Kris Cahill from the AotS Seer Academy, and I'm here with the AotS Seer clairvoyant team. There is a clairvoyant team, and we are here to talk to you. And we actually are the teachers, or some of the teachers, the main teachers in this program in the AotS Seer training. And we just thought we'd get together and, I don't know, talk about a few things, but in particular, I think it'd be really fun to talk about what's fun about teaching clairvoyance and why do you want to do it? You don't have to answer all of that at once.
Sounds fun.
Anybody here want to go first?
Yeah. So one of the things I really enjoy about teaching clairvoyance is, number one, watching people or seeing, well, being the seer, right? And seeing people see themselves or see something new. And this is sort of talking about clairvoyance and looking at energy for yourself first, right? But really like seeing yourself, seeing something new in your life, maybe seeing something you never knew existed before, ever. And I mean, for myself too, right? This is an experience both as a teacher and personally. But I love witnessing that in other people and students and seeing them experience that and explore that and go deeper into their own ability to see energy, but really to go beyond what they think or know to be true or real in their life and to actually see like the energy or the spirit of things and how fascinating and enticing and exciting and maybe sometimes nerve-wracking and scary and all the other things, right? It's a wealth of emotions that might come from that, but it's still an experience. And I love witnessing that in students.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. And I really enjoy watching people discover that there's not actually anything wrong with themselves. It's like the thing in the way of them having what's so right, which is their own energy. I just love people getting to meet and getting to know that relationship with themselves in such a new and exciting way. And it clears so much in their space. And then it sparks that growth in myself as well. Like I start to feel like, oh, I've been feeling sort of wrong about something, or I've been feeling bad about myself in this particular way. There's that energy, that same energy in the way, and I get to move it out. So it's like a healing. It's watching others have healing by being seen and seeing themselves, but then as well, it sparks that healing for me too, seeing myself with more depth. So
yeah, I was going to say something similar to what both of you said. Although there's so much to say on this, but when people start to see how much bigger their lives are, how much bigger they are than what they think they are. And I think Tiara, you said something very similar, and both of you did, but it's like this, where we often have all these energies or beliefs, which we call pictures as clairvoyants, that we're only this much or only this is possible. And we're like, well, no, you're actually very creative as a spirit. You can create on a much bigger scale. There's a bigger way to look at it. And it's not about out there, it's about what's in here. And that to me is also part of the magic of doing this, is we get to learn how to see within and not always need it to be about what's outside. It doesn't mean we're isolating. It's easier to get out and be in the world, but when you get to see yourself more clearly, it's just fun.
yeah, and you get to see yourself creatively. There's something so exciting about watching people see themselves be creative.
Yeah.
It's not like they're creating those pictures, right? But they are in some way. And it's, I don't know, it's just fun to see how people read. Nothing is ever the same. Nobody's ever reading the same picture as somebody else over and over again. There might be some similarities, but it's like, oh, you're seeing that in such a different way. That sparks something new for me too.
I would love to talk about that more with all of us. Like the fact that people do, like, I think a lot of people might come into a program like this thinking there's only one way to do it and only one way to read or see, and we're going to show them. And we all know that that's not true. And we have so much space, and that's how AotS Seer does it. It was like, no, you have your own way. we will, here, we've got here, try this, let's do it this way. Now let's try it this way. Now let's practice it. But really each person has their own unique, just like you do in your life, the way you get dressed every day or how you do little things.
That's right. There's like that sort of foundation of where the tools that you might work with, right? Like everyone's got a closet that has clothes in it and shoes and like sort of this base foundation that then you can build off of, and you can decide, how do I want to put my shoes on and which ones, and like, how do I want to style my hair today? And the same thing for clairvoyance. And I think, Kris, that's what you're speaking to right now, is that everyone has that foundation, right? And we teach tools that you can work with, but then you take it and run, right? And like, how do you use that tool? What works for you with those tools? What do you see? And it's different for like everyone. And I think it's so cool, even as a teacher, to be like, oh my God, and like go into a room and see a student reading, and then go into another room and another reading's happening, but it looks very different, right? Because the style of each person is different. Everyone has their own style. And you see that over and over, and it gives both the students and us, right, everyone, an opportunity to like let go of an expectation of like, oh, there's a way, meditation, like, except for maybe meditation is sloppy, or it's a little weird sometimes, or it's hilariously funny, or everyone has their own style and means of expressing themselves.
Yeah. It's like, what do you fill your closet with? No, really, what do you like? And then watching them get rid of all of those, shirts or whatever, those pictures really that don't belong to them anymore, that don't feel good to them, that aren't their expression. Yeah. What did they like? What did they get to have? It's so fun to watch people discover that for themselves.
Yeah. Little by little, but they do. And sometimes it's really fast. It is that creative style, and your spirit has its own creative style. And I think a lot of the times we get jammed into boxes that are just so small, and we keep trying to make it work, and it doesn't work because we're trying to create within another picture, somebody else's idea or rules, or this is the way you do it. Just like everything we're saying right now, clairvoyance, you start to look outside of that. Well, what's mine? How do I want to see this? And amusement is a big part of this.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Right. And there is no like, I think people come into this, myself included, right? When I first started studying clairvoyance, with an idea of what it was, right? And, we have those ideas, those classic pictures of what a psychic is or what a clairvoyant is, except for, I think what we're doing here is different. And it's about self-expression and the art of clairvoyance within yourself and for yourself, and then go do what you want with it if you want to express it in a way that's more traditional or not, but more focused on the art and the craft of being a clairvoyant.
Yeah, and seeing for yourself. Instead of making it about somebody, it's like really seeing for yourself, seeing the world through your own eyes instead of all of those pictures about what clairvoyance is, or even what your life should be about. So,
or what your friend says,
yeah,
or your family, or your neighborhood, right? Into what you see that is true for yourself. And that takes trust.
Yeah. And that includes like the daily news or just whatever's happening in the world. We're not saying we're separate and isolated from that, or that we don't care about it. But it's really when you can see energy clearly and you can see yourself clearly, it's easier to have space with all of that and to see, well, this is what looks good for me. Mm-hmm. This is how I want to approach this or deal with this or work with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that helps you with feeling responsible. When I came into this, I was like, oh, I need to heal the world. Like, I have to be responsible for making the world okay. It's such a big relief to get that responsibility out of my space. Because, I mean, how much could one person really do? It's like you're here for you. So
Right. And in a way, you're the catalyst
Yes.
without having to be responsible.
Without having to hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You changing creates change.
Yeah.
It's really true. You changing makes waves of change happen. And you don't have to go and lead it. We're not trying to like tell anyone else what they should do or control their experience of how they have their clairvoyance, or don't even want to use the word sometimes. It's really it's a spiritual ability, but it's such a creative ability. And we each have such an effect in ourselves. You have a greater effect, we all do, when we're being more clear within ourselves. It's not about being perfect. I mean, there are days I am so not perfect, believe it or not. Every day. But it's really just about seeing, and you can create. It's like messy, but it's also fun.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I really think this was a lot of fun. We'll do a lot more of this, but unless anybody else has anything else to say, I'm going to just say thanks for listening and watching, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you two want to introduce yourselves? Because I don't think you did.
Oh, yeah. I'm Fiona, and I'm a teacher here at Art of the Seer Academy.
Yeah, and I'm Tiara, teacher here at Art of the Seer Academy as well.
Okay. Thank you. And you can call us at Art of the Seer Academy or communicate with us at Art of the Seer Academy, artoftheseer.academy is our website.